Welcome back to Where Mackems Walk. Losing 5 of the last 7 is not good, and it's got some fans questioning whether Le Bris, for the first time, is under some pressure. What do you think? Is that madness, or do we need to start asking some questions of the genius? We've got Jamie, Charlie, Leo, and Sean fresh back from that defeat to Fulham with a few things to get off their chest. Thank you for being in our company this week. This is 20 minutes of Sunderland chat. If you've not come across us before, drop us a quick subscribe. Let's get straight into it then, shall we? Jamie, are people right to start questioning the manager or not?
I think fans will always question managers when the results go against them. I don't think he's in any danger of losing his job. Or me personally, I don't agree with that. But results do speak for themselves recently. 5 losses in 7. I think 2 wins since the end of November. It's the Premier League and it is brutal. Managers have gone for less, but we're Sunderland and we expect to be 18th, 19th, 20th this season. So in reality, we're probably above where we expected to be, but we're just in a bit of a downward spiral at the moment where you will get questioned. It's the nature of the beast, unfortunately.
Can't be right, though, surely. I mean, thanks, Jamie. The social media takes, so there's just a few of them. Joey says, Regis has to change it all, otherwise serious questions have to be asked. And is substitutions, Charlie, or is picks? What's grating you at the moment?
To be honest with you, I actually agree with that tweet. I mean, I don't want him to get sacked, and let's get that straight. I don't think I should sack him. I mean, if they get 0 points between now and the end of the season, obviously questions are going to be asked because they would at any club. But that, for starters, that's not going to happen. But for me, the last 2 home games, and even I thought they were pretty average against Oxford, but given the pitch and the way they were just kicking themselves away, I wasn't really bothered. But Liverpool, I kind of let them off because they were playing Liverpool and I expected better today, but I thought they were dreadful. I thought they were really, really dreadful. I thought they were really poor. And they're just so poor going for when we've got the ball, but at the minute we don't really know what we're doing. I feel like there's no kind of system, and I just think they kind of need to scrap it and just re-go and go again for the rest of the year with a new style or anything. I don't know. It's just they're really struggling for me. And then there's been a lot of talk on social media about Le Bris because someone tweeted that he might be under pressure, or whatever, come the end of the season. And I think he might be, based on the fact that the owners aren't here to mess about, kind of thing. I wouldn't be shocked if he got sacked. I don't think he should, like I say. But, they nearly sacked Mowbray after getting into the playoffs in the first year in the Championship. So, they only didn't because of kind of fan backlash, and then that didn't work out. So, I wouldn't really be surprised.
Yeah, and I know there's some people who have clicked on the link, the title for this, Under Pressure, and ready to have a go at us, but first of all, we're definitely not, no one here is calling for his head, right? No one here thinks, does everyone here think it's absolutely scandalous that this is even being discussed? Leo, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think so, to be honest. I think at this point, as Jamie said, like the expectation that we had going into the season was to be in and around that relegation fight, and as Dylan kept hammering on at the start of the season, if we finish 17th on goal difference, that's our job done. And then when we started getting into that, really good form where we were sitting 4th in the table after 12 games, 13 games, whatever it was, the thing that I was hammering was we can't get entitled as a fan base. We've got to know the level of football that we're playing right now and the level of competition that we're playing. Fulham have unbelievable players. When you saw their third goal, the break, the run from Wilson, the finish from Iwobi, we are playing against the top level of players. If we don't perform, or we have a little string of results or games where we're not performing our best, we will see a dip in form, and we're seeing it. But so does every single team. Obviously there's the Sunderland, Newcastle, and the rivalry, but we'll just compare because we're right next to each other in the table, level on points. And if you look at their expectation compared to ours, and a lot of their fans still want Howe around. I know there's a lot of them calling for his name, but they're expecting to be right up there. So for a team like us who's just came up, and we're in 12th after 27 games. Why are we calling for our manager? I don't understand it.
Well said, Sean. This one, Dan says Le Bris has been found out, and he's consistently making the same wrong decisions. He's too easy to beat. We can barely score. It's the same underperforming favourites that are being played every single game. Terrible subs, but for him, the writing is on the wall. And that term favourites, Sean, is used quite a lot to suggest he's picking the same players which are underperforming on seemingly very little merit. Is that the way you see it?
I mean, I'm guessing he's mean like Mundell. Came on today when Tarby got injured. I was confused why like Talby didn't come on at that point, and then obviously missed that chance in the first half, and then that would have changed the game, being 1-0 up. And but it's sad because Mundell's clearly not up to the Premier League standard, and I thought he was going to be, but obviously his injuries must. But it's just a harsh reality. The Premier League shows the gap really of the difference to obviously last week against Oxford, like how good he was. And then I'm guessing he's mean like Trey Hume as well, but I think people are just picking on Trey Hume for no reason really. I don't think he's been as bad as people are making out. He's a reason why he's playing every week. And I don't know who else would be his favourites. But yeah, I think the subs today were annoying.
I think as well, like you've just got to think, Jack has just come back from injury. This was his first performance back, and although we've went and still lost the game, after he came on today, you saw how much more positive we were, and how much more kind of control in that midfield that he brought. I think Sadiqi's really missed Xhaka. I see a lot of people on Twitter saying Sadiqi's had a bad run of form. I think he's really missed having Xhaka next to him, and obviously just with the next few weeks, we'll see how much Sadiqi can get back to his form at the start of the season with Xhaka next to him.
Yeah. The style of play's been brought into question, Jamie, as well. I don't know if you agree with this one. Colin says, please, can we reintroduce the high press? High-intensity football, that's when we were effective. We are back to slow, side-to-side football that invites pressure from other teams. What has happened, Regis? Yeah. Thoughts on that?
I don't think we've ever been a really high-intensity team with a high press for large spells of games. We have little bursts where someone will go and press somebody and we'll have a bit of a 3 or 4 minute spell, but we've always been a low block team under Le Bris this season, in my opinion. I think I've said all season on here that because he's built such a strong structure defensively that we have lacked in attacking areas. There's no connection between the midfield and the strikers. There's definitely no threat in wide areas. One thing that baffled me is if you listen to his interviews, he always goes on about connections to the team and a team dynamic and bedding players in. Like, so why he's throwing those 2 players in today to start together when they've come from the clubs he have come, and against Fulham today in the league, both together at the same time, which just goes against what he's kind of said all season about building a team dynamic, understanding the kind of the link between players and the communication and all that sort of stuff. So we are struggling massively in attacking areas. I mean, our XG, if you believe XG or not, is diabolical, and we're always overachieving at the start of the season with our XG. We're always low. I think we're second off bottom and we're like 4th in the league, but we haven't got the Premier League standard players in front of goal. Let's be totally honest. The chances do come our way, and we miss them. Sitters like today, then you see the difference in Fulham. They cut you open, and they're so calm in front of goal. The Iwobi finish just in his stride, just nonchalantly put it over him. And it's just a kind of a nail in the coffin, really. But that's our next step. Next summer window, I'm sure the club will know that that's our next area to address, our attacking side. And if it's not Le Bris in charge, I'll be very surprised. I think he'll. But he's got a big job in the summer because expectations have gone through the roof a little bit.
Okay. One more for you, Charlie, here, if that's okay. Gaz says he needs to find the balance and end this Hume captaincy for Xhaka. We looked all over the shop today with Angulo and Toby not doing much at all. Keep Lefay central and get Sirkin back, and we will all be absolutely fine. Agree?
I mean, a bit I do. I mean, I don't really understand why he's ending the Hume captaincy for Xhaka. I mean, obviously Xhaka will be captain when he's back playing. That seems a bit weird. I mean, Cirkin, yeah, I guess, but I'm kind of indifferent between who plays left back over him or Hume, if I'm honest with you. Although, to be fair to Cirkin, he did do a lot better than I thought he was going to when he came into the side. I think they're going to have a decision to make with Lafay as well. As much as I've gone on about how I don't want to see him playing left wing anymore, I think it's probably going to happen, and I'm now not against it because they need a bit of end product in that final third. I mean, today in particular, but it's been the last few games, they seem just afraid to shoot or cross when they get into good areas. Like, I mean, Brobby had one in the second half where it was a really nice move and he kind of came across the box. It was on his left foot, edge of the box. Any striker you'd think would just, swing at it, and he'd try to play an extra pass and they lost the ball in the counter. It was just like, however, he meant to be. I really like Brobby, and I think he's going to be a really, really good player. But I was like, just shoot. It's your one job on the pitch, except for holding the ball up for 5 minutes at a time. But I don't know, because with the play, at least he'd be able to create something in those final areas, and it means Diarra can get in the side as well, which
I don't know what Diarra does. What is Diarra?
I was going to say I'm a bit like on the fence with him. I'll be honest with you, but we'll pay 30 million quid for him, so play him, see what he does. I don't know. Like you said, Jamie, they need one or two quality players in the summer in attacking areas. I mean, they're the hardest people to get. That's why we haven't got them. But but Lafay's just going to have to kind of take that role for now, I think.
I think just one or two of them have to get a bit of form together, because then it just raises the level of competition and pushes everyone else on. I feel like we started the season and the wingers was our main thing. Of we look good all over the pitch apart from here, and it's kind of stayed that way. But then as other positions have decreased, the wingers haven't got any better, and then everyone else has just slightly went down and down and down as the season's going on, which means that by the end of the season we might be, a few places lower. We might be closer to relegation, but there's no way we go down. There's just no. I don't see it at all.
Of all the wingers, I mean, I thought that Tarbee today looked really sharp, and then he's got injured in his first game after half an hour. I was just like, right, brilliant. No doubt that's him done for the season.
I think Traore's been Traore will go again.
I can't wait until he's back.
Traore's back. He's apparently back this week, and he, like, at the time you're like, well, he is the best winger we've got.
I cannot believe how much I've missed him. And when we signed him, I couldn't believe what I was reading.
Yeah.
It was great. But
he's our cheapest signing as well, obviously, apart from the freeze. Our cheapest money signing.
Should we have a brief chat about Mundell, Sean? I mean, we have touched on it, but just to highlight what the fans were saying. Marcus says, if Mundell ever plays another effing minute for this club again, then something is wrong. He's effing rubbish. He completely effed the game today. How on earth he gets ahead of Talby? That has to be the worst game we played all season. Normally I'm not too effed up over a loss, but there's quite a few head losses about Mundell. Are we in the danger of becoming a weekly scapegoat for everything that goes wrong?
Yeah, definitely. Like, if he scored that chance, obviously, I know it's better saying that now, but if he scored that chance to make it 1-0, confidence would be growing as well. Because you could say after that, he was just good. And he just trying. And then actually, I noticed after the penalty, because obviously we had no subs left, but I noticed with his hamstring. So obviously he couldn't come off. So I think like last 10 minutes and that last 15 minutes, he wasn't like trying his best. I'm guessing just want to like, because he's got injury problems in the past. But I seen him crying at the end. I was gutted for him because after what he's done last season, and it's just, like I said, like the harsh reality of going to the Premier League. And yeah, I still don't understand why he didn't come on over Talby, because I think Regis Le Bris doesn't help like chucking Mundell into a game like that. Half an hour in, obviously, wasn't planning on coming on that early. But yeah.
Yeah. Do you have sympathies for him, Jamie?
Not really, no sympathy. He's a professional footballer. He's I'd rather be in his place than mine, to be totally honest. But he's just not a Premier League footballer, to be honest. Let's be totally honest. And the club have been ruthless, and I think by in the summer he'll be the next part of the ones that get moved on. But Le Bris doesn't help the situation. He's like just chucking wingers in left, right, and centre. There's no like consistent run of games. It's like you'll start 1 week, then you'll be on the bench for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. There's no like you've got no idea who's going to play wide when you see the team sheet. No idea. And today was just another random to them two today, and Mundell got hung out to dry a little bit, and like Sean says, he looks like he's doing his hamstring, so it might get rid of him for a few weeks and kind of might do him a bit of a favour, really.
Also, I was trying to say about Mukiele, like obviously he came off as well, and big difference when Gertrude came on because Mukiele obviously bombing down the wing all the time, his long throws. He was a big miss, I think, and obviously Ronaldo already out. So yeah, it's just hopefully everyone's back.
That's almost as big as as big as Xhaka getting injured a few weeks ago.
Definitely, yeah.
Mukiele getting injured. I've heard nothing about what it's like or how long it's going to be for, but if he's out for a few weeks,
just said it's
this form might just
waiting for scans, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
There's been some serious revisionism about Mundell, just quickly, by the way. I've seen people going on like saying that he's like a bottom end championship winger. I mean, when he was fit last year, he was unbelievable for us. Like, I really thought he was going to be good enough, but I think the injury at the end of last year has probably just ruined him. And, some of the abuse he's been getting last few weeks, especially today. I mean, he's deleted his Instagram today after the game because he's been getting racist abuse, which is just ridiculous. Like, the lads always gave 100% for us. And, people going on about, like, Talby. It's not like Talby's been a world beater. All right, he has looked, good. It's not like he's been a world beater and it's like 100%. You're definitely picking him over Mundell. I don't know. It's a bit ridiculous. People need to get off his back a bit. All right, he had to score that chance or at least get it on target. Fine, he didn't. Just back him. Like, what's the point in giving him dogs abuse week in, week out? What's that going to do for a 22-year-old bloke? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well said. And some of the. I mean, that one I've shown on the screen was one of the nicer ones in Frank that was written about him as well. Right, final one on this one, Leo. Some fans are starting to look at your fixtures to come and start to think about Forest fixtures and Burnley's fixtures, and we're getting into that realm of silliness again, was suggesting that Sunderland could still be in a relegation fight. I mean, that is just nonsense, isn't it? You are safe.
Yeah. I mean, like I've just said, I can see us finishing lower in the table than what we are right now. Maybe even as low as like a 15th, and maybe by the end of the season, after 38 games, we're not that many points away from that bottom three. But like, just looking at the teams that are down there, they can't close the gap. They can't close the gap that it already is, because they haven't done it. They haven't been able to close a 6-point gap in 20 games. So how are they going to close a 12-point gap in 9? Like, the teams down there, you're looking at Burnley and Wolves. Obviously, Wolves nowhere near. Burnley got a decent point, but points not enough for them right now. West Ham drawing games left, right, and centre. It's just like they're not going to be able to catch up to us. So anyone who's saying that, just give your heads a wobble. And if I get this wrong, I'll never come back on here.
Like I said, I was saying before the show, it just feels a bit like the 2 seasons ago when we started off all right in around the playoff places, and then second half of the season was just bad and we slipped down the table. People thought we might get dragged into it because we're playing so badly, but because we're already so far ahead, it didn't really matter. That is becoming a thing though, because second half of last season wasn't great either. So that's
because you were stuck in 4th and 5th, weren't you?
Owners.
Yeah.
We had fans calling for our owners when we slip off in season, so I won't hear our fan base calling anyone involved at the club when we have a dip in form.
I wouldn't rule it out based off some of our fan base, but that's another day.
Okay. Right. Cheers for your comments. Obviously, this is just 20 minutes. We could go on and wax lyrical more for longer, but there's other great podcasts that do that for us. This is a shorter version of all of that. Other things we're talking about this week, then, we've got our A to Z to come up for the letter Q this week. Thoughts on a postcard for that in a second. We're also talking about which team we'd love to see in the Prem with us next season from the Championship. Jamie, have you got any particular interest of a good away trip from the champ that you'd like to see in the Prem?
Just give us Borough again, another close one. I think Borough coming up will be another half, like a half of a derby, and it's not a big derby, but you know what I mean. Yeah, Borough more than anybody else.
Yeah, playing some good stuff, Borough, at the moment as well. Leo, anybody you'd fancy?
Either of the top two, I would say, Borough or Cov, because they're both getting very, very loud on Twitter, and we'll see what that's like, because Burnley were getting very loud at the start of the season as well. So
yeah, okay, Sean.
I don't know. They both got away games. We've both got good history with them. So yeah.
I mean, I used to love going to Hillsborough, but I don't think that. Well, actually, they confirmed relegation today, so yeah, sadly, Wednesday not going to be in the Prem.
Okay, Charlie.
Give us Borough, Ipswich, and Millwall. Get all the loan lads back up. Alan Brown, Dan Neil, Pato, Tommy Watson, Jack Clark. Get a lot of them up there. It'd be funny to see Coventry not go up again as well, even though I don't really have much of a beef with them.
Yeah, he dropped a bit of a stinker pass out, didn't he, as well, the weekend. Right. We're also talking about football just in general. Are we falling out of love with it a little bit? It's our big question this week. Jamie, when you talk to your mates at work and just the general fans in pubs and so on, is there a growing disconnect, you think, between the modern game and fans? And if so, why?
I think definitely at the highest level with VAR and stuff. Like just this weekend alone, you've seen like the North London derby today, like came to a pause because of like the headset doesn't work, and like years ago you used your flag to communicate with people, and to stop that game for the amount of time that happened again, just I don't know. I think football's great without VAR. I know people might disagree, but over the course of a season, you tend to get as many right as you get as many wrong, and it levels itself out. So that kind of excitement when the ball hits the net, just sometimes thinking, is it going to be a goal? Is it not? Can I celebrate? So for me, there are people getting a little bit kind of detached from the game because of how technical it's getting, how much it's changing, for no need really.
Anybody else got a strong opinion on this?
I mean,
I think
I
think with the there are a few things that are in the game now that weren't before that are making people kind of fall out with it. I mean, just take today for example, we had 17 total minutes at a time in the game, from all the stoppages and stuff that is going on in the game. But thinking about me personally, I mean, thinking about the time between 2017 and now, this has been the best year to be a Sunderland fan. So I think for a lot of us, and personally, it's not, but in the grand scheme of things, it is. You do see it on that downward slope for having like a true core fan base that die hard week in, week out.
Charlie, you go.
Yeah, like today, and I touched on it there about the injuries and that, and how many stoppages there was in the first half, but it was just so. It's partially down to the referees as well, but that is a whole other thing itself. Today I just lost the plot of the referee, but whatever. It was just so stop start. Like Fulham are a good side, but they've got a load of like really good professionals, and you could see that because they were just buying little things here and there, stopping the game whenever there was any momentum, and it was just like, oh my god, come on, just play football. And then there was that bloody the penalty, which was a free kick, which was never a free kick, and they gave a penalty for a bloke who was offside. VAR didn't want to do anything about that though, but that's fine. I mean, the most entertaining game I've watched so far this season was the Villa-Newcastle game, which Newcastle won, by the way, and this is me still saying it. There was no VAR. It was just kind of all on for 90 minutes. There was an offside goal, granted, fine. There was a honker of a penalty decision, great. It was just really entertaining, and there was no VAR. So I think that's my biggest quarrel, and I can see why people don't. I mean, my dad just despises it. As someone who's like a bloke who's watched football for 50 years, it's just it's ruining for people.
Okay. Cheers to all of you. Let us know in the comments. We'd look interested to see what you think. What you think to this good debate going online this week about it as well. Some great articles.
I was trying to say about like, because obviously I'm a bit biased. I work in football, but like for that FA Cup, all the games being on TNT, like
Yeah.
That's a joke. Like, FA Cup should never be on TNT. Like, should never be behind. I know a few games were on like normal telly, but all the games you should be able to watch. And it's just for like a neutral, just general neutral fans, like it just ruins. And then like the times of the games and stuff. Like obviously Sunday at 2:00, Sunderland v Fulham. Like you wouldn't. Like
Well, look at next week. Bournemouth away at lunchtime.
yeah.
Yeah. You need like a DAZN subscription to watch pre-season. Like,
Absolutely.
what are we doing?
Another reason they've said is that there's too many podcasts as well. So we're happy to lend our own little bit of carbon footprint to that argument as well. Great. And finally, this week then, A to Z of Q. A to Z of Sunderland, sorry, we're up to Q. Where, oh God, what have we got?
Now, Quinn.
There's only one, isn't
One
there?
answer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was nice and straightforward. Yeah. No other debates. No
Didn't even think about
quarterfinals. Okay, brilliant. Right, Niall Quinn straight away gets in there. Next week then, get your thinking caps on for that one. We're nearly there. The full alphabet. We've got 9 weeks left. I think we'll get there. We'll just get to Z just before we get to the end of the season. Great to have your company this week. Thank you very much for watching. Drop us a quick sub if you haven't done so already. We're close to another landmark. That'd be great if you could help us grow this into something bigger. Really appreciate all your comments as well. We do read them in our lunch breaks throughout the week. Let us know your thoughts on, should Regis Le Bris be under so much pressure, or is it just ridiculous? Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Sean. We'll see you all in next week, and we'll review that Bournemouth game. Have a good one.